Hello everyone. Today we're going to be trying something new and looking at another game that I've been kind of playing behind the scenes, and that is From the Depths. Now, From the Depths is kind of a special game to me, but also a game that I despise because it's insanely difficult and I'm not exactly good at it. But today we're not going to be doing any campaign stuff, but today I would like to show off one of my creations, and that would be the legendary and most well-known aircraft from the U.S., except the Super Hornet of the F-16, and that is the F-22 Raptor. Now, this thing is pretty powerful. It's a very cheap aircraft, about 33K. So, actually, no, it's like medium cost, but, it's a very fast aircraft, and as you can see, it can fly up to 1,000 meters up in the sky. It has a top speed at about 160, as I can show here. See, 161 meters per second. And as you can see here, it's not very hidden, but there are secret weapon bays, 2 medium missiles packed with an active radar seeker, and 3 explosive and frag warheads. There are 4 of these missiles, 2 hidden on the sides of the aircraft, and 2 on the underside. Now, I take a lot of pride in this, but when the Raptor is attacking an enemy, it will actually open up its weapon bays before firing, as you can see. And as you can see, the missiles are custom made, so they look nice. And bam, gone. Now, this thing is really good early game, if you know what you're doing. Because, having multiple of these launch, even 2 of these can be very devastating to ships and aircraft. And, it's a cool looking aircraft as well, I would say. I tried to make it as best looking as I could. It's very quick, as you can see. Other than that, it's not much to say. This is a really cool aircraft. I have also made another aircraft of mine, which is a little bit slower, but still pretty cool. That would be the F-86 Sabre. Now, if you don't know what the F-86 Sabre is, it's a Cold War era fighter aircraft. And it looks like this. Now, this thing only goes about 120, 130 meters per second, so much slower than the Raptor. But it has infrared missiles, which, as you can see, immediately did some big damage to the F-22. It is also pretty nice looking. It has 8 flares, all packed with radar decoys, maybe 1 heat decoy. It's one of my better looking aircraft, I would say. I mean, except the Raptor. The Raptor looks better, but it doesn't stop pretty well. It's also slightly more expensive, or actually slightly less, But yeah, this is a pretty cool thing just to add spice up. And I don't know if you can tell, but it is using the AIM-9L Sidewinder missiles, which I took a long time trying to make them look as, best represented. So, yeah, this is the F-86. And then, the last thing I'm going to show is one of my new ships, called the Ripper. I know, very cringy name, but as you can see, it is a very, very good ship. It's about 380K, so it's pretty expensive in the early game, but mid game is pretty alright. It is equipped with 6 triple gun 459mm, or triple barreled, can't speak, 459mm guns. All of them firing a shell of HE, or armor-piercing, or APHE, or armor-piercing high explosive. The depth distance is about 6.25 meters, so it goes pretty deep into the crap before it explodes. This top speed is about 20 meters per second, or 20 to 19. It is very destructive. If the enemy craft is using like any sort of wood or metal, this thing will tear it apart. A good example is, let's say, the Onyx Watch, which is pretty okay. We are going to use the Claymore as an example. Or actually, no, that isn't a fair fight. Let's use the Jormungand. So, Jormungand, pretty big thing, right? You would think this would be a pretty tough fight, but you can see already some pretty big damage coming out. And you can see the Phalanx gun already taking shots. You can see this thing just inflicts massive damage on its enemies. And the Phalanx gun obviously provides protection from the missiles and cram cannons that it's firing right now. Yep. There's a big barrage of bullets coming in. Unfortunately, the Phalanx gun has been destroyed, but all of the guns are still operational. As far as armor goes, it has a 4-meter poles with explosive reactive armor, and then another 2 layers of metal. So it's pretty decently protected. Oh, that's a gun gone. The gun barbettes themselves have 1 layer of metal and then a layer of heavy armor. Okay, just see. Obviously, it has multiple propellers in the back, kind of have to reduce that. It does have a missile sonar decoy for torpedoes, just in case, you know, the enemy decides to fire torpedoes at me. It also has some fail-safe systems in place, so that way if the enemy is not in, like, you know, firing or like range or whatever, like here it should be able to fire, but it's so that way I don't accidentally shoot my own craft, you know, because that'd be really embarrassing. See big damage coming out. So you can see that this thing does massive damage to things similar or cheaper to its size, or cheaper than it. Other than that, this is a pretty nice ship. And then I think that's about it. I do have some more projects I'm working on. I have made an Apache, but I'm not very proud of it, so I'm probably gonna make a new one. And then I will, if you have any suggestions of what I should make next, please put them down in the description. Because, you know, you need suggestions. Oh yeah, here's the most expensive and best ship in my arsenal. Affectionately named Battleship Titty. This thing has 4 Phalanx guns. Very dangerous. Don't want to fucking mess with this thing. It has 6 350mm or triple 350mm guns. These ones are also firing APHE as well. They do have a higher depth distance, so that way they really go into the craft before exploding. It's very expensive. It has a large array of large missiles that will launch out, and then I will show you fighting it, or fighting my new ship, the Ripper. Don't mind that. That is just another thing I'm going to be using for a campaign, and if you guys want, if this video can maybe get 10 likes, I'll start a new campaign on easy, and then we can go up the difficulties as we go. I'll also try to section it off so it isn't super boring or whatever, but it's also just another testament of how strong the Ripper is. Because as you can see, the already big damage already going to the side. Took out one of the missile arrays. Multiple guns are gone. So the horde is just really big. Took out 2 Phalanx guns as well. Jeez, this is a fucking massacre. Fortunately, those large missiles will tear into the ship, and as you can see, the deck armor is not holding up very well. We're both down to the same amount of guns right now. These guns are slightly more powerful though, so that's something. See here, armor holds up pretty well. More shots coming out. Like I said, big damage going into the side here. This thing is not very well armored at all. It's only a metal and alloy. So yeah, so this is my main go-to ship, but I'll have to make some new ones. Like I said, I just want suggestions for what I should make. If you want like a special battleship that you want me to make, or if it's like something, you know, just anything that's good, you know, any good ships that you know of. And there is a land like campaign thing, so I could always do that too. Alright, but other than that, I will see you all later.